Neville Goddard. Fertilize the egg. Expanded. An egg is dead until the sperm penetrates it. It can be there forever, and it means nothing until the sperm actually penetrates that egg. So here is the egg. Whether it be a human egg or the egg of the chicken, the sperm must penetrate it. When it penetrates it and occupies it, it fertilizes it. When it becomes fertile, well then, in its own given time, it breaks the shell and out comes whatever that was the sperm that penetrated it. So you penetrate a state by simply assuming that you are now the being that you would like to be. If you dare to assume that you are that which you would like to be, so that you think from it instead of thinking of it, you are in the state. You've penetrated it. Now just in this world, it's still the great mystery of all time. We know how to go to the moon. We've put cameras on the moon. We've done all these marvelous things, but to this day, no one knows how that sperm can enter the surface of an egg without leaving a hole in the surface of the egg. There was no hole before it penetrated, and there was no hole after it penetrated. To this day, no matter what man knows concerning all the mysteries around about him, he can't understand how this could penetrate the egg and leave no hole either before or after. For there is no hole before and none after it penetrated. Well, your imagination is that sperm. You do not have to open doors to get into rooms if you enter an imagination. Take an entire room and have it sealed, hermetically sealed. What can stop you in your imagination from assuming that you're in it? So you're in it and you dwell in it, and you look at the world from it. If you dwell in it and then feel what you must feel in all acts, you must feel relief. Of all the pleasures of the world, relief is the most keenly felt. So when you enter into a state, remain there until satisfaction is yours, until there's relief. Because of all the pleasures of the world, relief is the most keenly felt. That means that you have expelled the germ. Call it the germ. It's the sperm right into the state. Now come back to this level. For those who are here for the first time, this is how we go about realizing an objective. Think of what you want in this world. That's only a state. It could be health, it could be wealth, it could be fame, it could be anything in this world. Just think of it. Now that is just like an egg. It has all that is necessary, but one thing, it has to be penetrated. It has to be fertilized. Until the sperm penetrates it and fertilizes it, it cannot break the shell and become what the world calls a reality in this world. So I stand here before you, and suppose I desired, say, to be in San Francisco. It's 500 miles north of here. I would assume that I am in San Francisco. I think I know the city fairly well, but I don't have to know a city well in order to imagine a state. But here I know it well. I've lived in so many of the hotels for a month at a time, sometimes 2 months at a time. So I put myself in a familiar place. Say I'm on Union Square, or I'm at the St. Francis. And I would just sit in that lobby or sit in my room that I know so well and think of the world. And I would see it all related to where I'm assuming that I am. While I'm in it, I would feel a sense of relief, of satisfaction, that I wanted to be here, and I am here. As I would do that and release myself in that state, I have released the necessary sperm or energy in that state, which is like an egg. I return here to Los Angeles, but I have gone and prepared the place. And now I will move across a bridge of incidents or some series of events that will compel me to move from here to fulfill what I have done, and I'll go to San Francisco. I may have no desire to go, but I will move under compulsion to go and do it. I will have to, for I go first and prepare the place, occupy it, and then return to where I was. And even though I might resist the going, I can't stop it. I created it. I will move across this bridge of incidents that will be thrown up for me. Things will compel me to leave here and go there, and I will actually fulfill what I've done. I created it. I must fulfill it. Now you do this with everything in this world. Look upon everything that is an objective, a desire, as an egg, and the thrill of penetrating that egg and occupying it. Actually move right into it, dwell in it, and view the world from it. Don't think of it. View the world from it. As you view the world from it, you're in it. Well, now release yourself in that state. Feel the satisfaction that is yours. May I tell you from my own personal experience, there's no power in this world that can stop you from realizing it, not even yourself. You may regret that you did it, but you're going to fulfill it anyways. Learn your lesson and try in the future not to do things you don't want to experience. But you're going to do it, so everything in this world is waiting for you to penetrate it. So in everything you want in this world, go right into it. Don't ask anyone's permission. Can you occupy a state? Go into it. Would you know what the feeling would be like if it were true? How would it feel if it were true? How would I feel? How would it feel if I name it, and then suddenly, how many people were in Vietnam either because they wanted to or they were afraid of it, and their fears came upon them? They put themselves right into the state. My son went through the Second World War, and he read a little book concerning Guadalcanal, and he fell in love with the peculiar headdresses of the natives. He told me himself all about them. Well, at the age of 17, he volunteered right after Pearl Harbor, and he was one of the first ashore in Guadalcanal. He actually put himself into the state by reading a book and falling in love with the pictures. Now, he didn't enjoy the experience of Guadalcanal, but he asked for it. He did it. It doesn't happen by accident. These things all happen in the world because you and I are setting them in motion, and we either doing it wittingly or unwittingly. And now let's close with some wisdom from my old friend Abdullah and what he once told me. If anyone ever stands before you and tries to make himself important at your expense and to make you feel little, Neville, make a mental picture of him performing his normal, natural functions, and you reduce him to the level where he belongs. And that's true of everyone in the world. Just make a mental picture right away as he feels so important. Just make a mental picture of him sitting and performing the normal, natural functions, and you reduce him right down to the level where he really belongs. Because in these bodies of ours, they're excrementitious. And now let us go into the silence. Good